Good morning, and it looks like you made it over from the store, the VEDX store. Welcome to the Bodyswaps store. This inside of here, you will be able to learn about Bodyswaps content library and everything that they are doing for businesses and for learners, allowing learners to practice situations that have traditionally been very difficult, whether that's an interview or a leadership scenario, and then they get feedback from the software itself. So I see this being deployed universally at both company HR departments, but also at universities and even high schools that are preparing their students for the real world. It's based off of a monthly license model, and I will let you learn all about it here from Chris in a minute. Now, off to my left, you will see another riddle. This is day 5 riddle. Please submit your answer no matter what. If you think it's right or wrong, you will still be entered into the prize for the Bodyswaps. And then the most right answers from the 7 days will be entered into a 1-year pro subscription possibility for Infiniverse. So without further ado, please go ahead and make your way into or over to the screen and watch Chris after I. Over you, Chris.
Hi everyone, I'm Christophe Mallet, I'm the CEO of Bodyswaps, and welcome to the Bodyswaps shop in the Infiniverse. I'm going to tell you about what we do at Bodyswaps in education specifically. But before that, a word from Jerry Seinfeld. So there was a study a few years ago that asked American people what the number one fear was in the world, and the number 2 fear was dying. Death is number 2. Number 1 is public speaking. And so Jerry Seinfeld observed that at a funeral, most people would rather be in the coffin than be on the stage during the speech. And I guess this is just an extreme example of what we call soft skills, anything that has to do with communicating with other humans beings. And what we do as Bodyswaps is essentially helping people like Dean. So Dean is a student at Stanwell College in the UK who had difficulties communicating with impact and confidence and trained very hard in Bodyswaps and got his first job. So what is it that we do? Essentially, we use metaverse technologies, so more specifically virtual reality, virtual humans, and NLP, to automate soft skills training, to allow people to unlock their potentials remotely, autonomously, whenever they want. There's a big challenge when it comes to soft skills. So according to the World Economic Forum, 1.5 billion people will need to upskill their soft skills by 2025 to be fit for the world of work. So that's a big number. Now the question is, how can you, with today's technology, train that many people in a meaningful way? And the answer is you can't, because there's an impossible trade-off between scalability and effectiveness. Coaching, for example, is very effective. It's hands-on, it's experiential, it's personalized, but it's also way too expensive and cumbersome to be scaled to 1.5 billion people. On the other end, you've got things like e-learning. E-learning is affordable, it's scalable, it's fantastic to learn knowledge, but it simply is ineffective, demonstrably ineffective when it comes to actually transforming behavior. Because learning active listening or learning how to give a speech at a funeral on PowerPoint is like trying to learn to swim on video, right? You have to be thrown into the deep end to learn to swim. And so the idea behind Bodyswaps is, what if we could give everyone their own coach? Always on, autonomous, affordable. What if we could combine together the scalability of digital solution and the effectiveness of coaching? So what we've done essentially is we've created a flight simulator for soft skills. So you put on your headset, you pick an avatar, and you find yourself in a workplace situation. Might be interviewing for a job, giving feedback, challenging a sexist colleague, and you're going to interact with virtual humans in your own words, in your own body language. Then you're going to swap perspective with them. So find yourself in their body and watch yourself back from their perspective. Because the last time you had a difficult conversation with someone in your team or a friend, you don't know how you came across. Did you came across as a leader or as a nagging boss? Did you come across as empathetic or weak? So that self-reflection element, self-reflection meets out-of-body experience, so to speak, is very interesting. And then because it's VR, we capture a lot of data and we repackage that data, semantic, decision, body language, to give you super personalized feedback. So you can go back in step one and practice again and watch yourself again and so on. And every time you watch yourself again, not only do you improve, but you see yourself improve. And that drives your confidence in your own skills. That's called self-efficacy, and that's the best driver for behavioral change. So at Bodyswaps, we have a library of off-the-shelf simulations. Every simulation is about 15 to 20 minutes, and we cover things like the essential of workplace communication, soon public speaking, D&I around race and also gender inclusion, job interview simulator, and so on. I won't go into any details. All of this is on the website. So the way this works is we have this library, which we license on a per user basis. And then once you have the license, you can access Bodyswaps Go, which is our management platform where you can manage content, user, create classes and invite them, and also analytics, the usage data, but also the behavioral data and the learner feedback. The whole of Bodyswaps is available not only in virtual reality, where you get the best, the most immersive experience, but also on mobile, on PC as an app, and very, very soon on the web. So how does the format work precisely? Let me give you a quick example. So this is a simulation where you're going to meet sexist Sam on the left. So in that simulation, your goal is to learn how to challenge someone who's being sexist in a constructive way. So first exercise, you're going to observe. So every Bodyswap simulation is made of a set of exercises, which we call observation, conversation, intervention, and there's a few more. So I'm going to illustrate how those exercises work, those Lego blocks of learning. So here, you with Sam and Sophie, working on a project, and Sam is being horrible towards Sophie. Your job is to click on the trigger or click on the mouse every time you feel that Sam is doing or saying something inappropriate. Once you're done, you're going to get a results panel that tells you, okay, you picked up when Sam minimized Sophie's emotions, but you didn't pick up when he excluded her with his body language. So you can revisit that specific moment from Sophie's perspective. So learning again, but with something that is viscerally emotional. And then the software, of course, tells you what it is that you made as a mistake. Then you're moving into the conversation. So you're now face-to-face with Sam, and you need to prompt him to reflect on his behavior. So if you say, Sam, I think the way you just behave is totally unacceptable, he's going to shake his head, cross his arms, and say that it's not his fault and it's her, and so on. And the software tells us about the fact that we antagonized him, so we can try again. Very, classic method, except Sam is a virtual human, right? He's pre-recorded. So he's here 24/7, he has no feelings and he has no judgment. So it's a safe space to play around. Then we move into the intervention. So Sam has reluctantly admitted that, yes, maybe he was a bit hard for a minute there. So we're now going to be face-to-face with him, and we're going to tell him what he's done, the impact it had, and what we expect moving forward. So I'm going to attempt to show you a quick video of that. Here we go.
Okay, Sam, so I observed your interaction with Sophie for 5 minutes, and I heard many things that were patronizing and minimizing. Even your body language was blocking her off. You implied that she wasn't working, and the reason why you implied that is simply because she's a woman, and that is sexist.
Okay, so I'll pause here. As you see, I'm not clicking on anything anymore. I'm not choosing A, B, or C. I'm using my own voice. And this is actually quite hard. You have to improvise. Sam is looking at you right in the eye. There's a bit of pressure. Once I'm done speaking, and I spoke for about a minute, I'm going to Bodyswap.
Okay, Sam, so I observed your interaction with Sophie for 5 minutes, and I heard many things that were...
Okay, so you get the idea. We have recorded my voice, but also through the coordinates of the controllers and headset, the position of my heads and hands. And so we're able to recreate the body language. Essentially, we put you in Sam's shoes, and he's sitting across from yourself. You're experiencing what it feels like when you give negative feedback to someone. So that self-reflection is the first powerful element. And then once you're done with the self-reflection, you are going to access the analytics part of the software. So in the analytics, you're going to get feedback on whether you use Sam's name, whether you maintain eye contact, how you use your hands, but also the vocabulary that you use. Did you use specific examples of what he said and done? So that's for the Bodyswaps format. So every simulation is built following the same exercises, but obviously different script in different situations. So those are our clients so far. We work in corporates, in higher and further education, and in the public sector. A little bit of the learner feedback, bit of data. So that's the first 1,000 sessions from learners from these institutions here on the job interview simulator, which helps prepare students for job interviews. So what we found is 80% of students after a single session have identified areas to improve their own skills. So it's not, oh, I understand the acronym for the STAR technique. It's no, I know how I can improve. 80%, 79, find learning Bodyswaps more effective than what they're doing normally. And 85% would recommend the experience to their peers. If we dig a little bit deeper, in each of the activities, we ask students how confident they are before and after. So what you see here is 23% of students are confident answering unexpected interview questions in a structured way before they do the training. And that jumps to 72% after the training. So those numbers are interesting, but it also means that as an organization, you can access those numbers in real time via Bodyswaps Go and build a use case and make sure that actually what you're doing delivers results. But that's all self-reported learner data, right? So what about the actual change in the real world? We ran a study with M3 in the UK, so completely independent, randomized control trial, and they compared a cohort that did Bodyswaps on PC at home with a control group that had a one-to-one mock interview with a career advisor and also a class on the STAR technique. Then everyone underwent a behavioral assessment with a psychologist who didn't know who did what. And they found that for the Indian cohorts, they outperformed the Indian Bodyswaps cohort, outperformed the ones that had a career advisor by 29%, which is absolutely huge. So in a nutshell, giving people that ability to learn autonomously, giving people that ability to learn in a safe space is crucial to their performance. And obviously, in terms of learning preference and confidence, the numbers are very good. So to sum it up, what do we do at Bodyswaps for Education? We leverage those technologies to give people like Dean a way to learn in a safe space whenever they want, and to do this in an affordable way. So our objective is to help 10 million Deans by 2025. And we need to end up with a little surprise. So if you scan the QR code that's on this slide, you can enter a raffle to win a 3 months unlimited license to access the entire library on any format for your institution. So just scan the QR codes. If we see any questions, you know where to find me and the VEDX team. Thanks and have a great day. Cheers.